If we're live. It's kind of like the old days, Dave.
I know.
What's this? And I got to be honest, this is the first time me and you have worn the EverTrek t-shirt on the same day for a while.
Dual branding.
It's proud. We should be very proud.
It's not Catrive, no, is it? It's
no. We got it the right way around. Brilliant. Right, let's wait for a few people to jump on. Who's going to be the first one today? Let's have a look. Who's going to be the first one to comment? We're always looking to see. Oh, and it's Anthony, winner. Here he is.
Winner. Chicken
Anthony
dinner.
And EverTrek. Well, it's always good to see EverTrek on here as well.
They don't play.
Laura Collins, who's usually first, is sorry, mate. You're third today, Laura. I mean, what's going on?
Well, the thing is, it's not just about being first on the live. It's like, it's like that
Who's
initial.
it's
like that initial round of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
Where who can get their commenting first? That's what we class as the first one.
That is so funny.
So I'm sure Laura was actually first. She's just a bit slow on the old keyboard.
Oh, we'll forgive you, Laura. But no, great to see everyone on here. We've got some familiar faces as well. We've got Marky V, Simon, how you doing? Laura is crying with laughter. Good, always good to hear. We got Darren, 2 weeks till EBC, fantastic. We got Alison from the Forest of Dean. Good morning, good afternoon.
I go riding my bicycle at Forest of Dean.
Riding your bicycle?
I know, it's not that accent either. I don't know what I was
going to say. That's a bit further south. Anyway, no, it's great to be back in EverTrek HQ. I know I was on the road last week, but Dave, you did well. You led from the front last week.
Yeah, led for this week. Very little effort is going to be put in, because of last week.
Is that what it's going to be?
But it was good. Yeah, because Iceland you were at. Yeah, Iceland. Iceland. Yeah. One day we'll do a Marine away.
That'd be good. Yeah, let's do that. I know, I'll probably go away a fair bit. Anyway, great to see Jerome, Jim. We got Michael. Yeah, we got Angie. We got some great EverTrekkers on here this week, and yeah. So we were thinking, as always, about subjects. We haven't talked about boots for a while, which is, wow, right? We talked about pretty much everything but this year.
Pants.
Yeah, we did.
Big live on pants.
We did one on pants for Valentine's Day, right? Very themed.
Yeah, big live on pants,
Big live. So today we thought we'd go deep into boots. And we're not talking about the chemist, we're talking about actual boots. And I thought I'd drop it in.
No, it's actually that joke was A class compared to the one that Jerome has just dropped in.
How do you choose a pair of suitable boots? Very Cathilly. I don't get it.
Cathilly.
I got it.
I feel bad for Jerome because normally he's a lot better than that.
Wow. Brilliant. No, it's great to see everyone on. We got Pritesh as well. We got Nicholas. Here we go. We got lots of EverTrekkers on here. Great to see you booked in for EBC for October as well, Pritesh.
Yeah.
Well done. Right, yeah. I suppose Mark has set us off on the right track, talking about some boots we rarely talk about on this live. Called Maindel Boutans. And yeah, I think the way we'll do it, Dave, because a lot of our trips, you can get away with using the similar type of boot, but there are certain trips that you do need specific boots.
Yeah.
Or actually, you might not actually use boots at all. We do get some people that actually prefer, because they're runners or they're trail runners, or they just don't like boots.
Yeah.
And they prefer trail runners, and that's another. That could be a whole life.
I would say, yeah. If it, we always recommend boots somewhere because I think that there are limitations to wearing, trail shoes and things like that. If you're just hiking on pretty well established, routes, and you're not going up any particular mountain peaks, you're not going in any particularly cold temperatures, then they are really good and they're certainly very light on the feet. Yeah. But I do think there are limitations. Like, you roll an ankle, I think 4 times a walk. So if you didn't wear boots,
sometimes exactly. There's a reason why I wear my Maindels.
You're the only person I know that's rolled an ankle so much that you've pulled an eyelet out of a leather boot.
What was that? Was on
Glencoe
a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was mad.
So
I actually pulled one of the. I think you've got boot. Yeah, give us the Maindel there.
Are we starting with Maindels?
Well, just to demonstrate. I mean, this is we're clearly going ahead with it, but yeah, you can see this eyelet here. I rolled my ankle so much, and it was a relatively new pair of boots. It yanked that completely off.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll talk about that.
This is another pair.
Is that mine or yours?
These are yours.
These are mine.
Yeah, that's your pair. Yeah, do with a bit of a waxing, mate.
They could do a bit of a waxing, but we'll get to that. We'll get to the waxing in a bit. Yeah, so we're talking about different types of boots. Obviously, we got specifics. Yeah, Jerome with the old bingo. It's been a while since people have playing bingo. Bry, fast from his what was it? He did Brecon. Was it Brecon to Cardiff?
It was a Brecon 5K, I think he did.
And, I think it was just under 5K.
Yeah, just under 5K. Yeah, I think he walked the second half of it as well. So
well done, Bry. I saw your face on one of those pictures, and I thought, wow, you look in pain. So good on you, mate. Good on you. And yeah, nice to see you on as well. Yeah, great to see some EverTrek legends out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with I'm trying to lose my thread now. What were we talking about then? About the boots specifically.
Well,
different types.
We started on trail shoes. So trail
shoes is always
shoes
a good place to start.
So I have a pair here. These are, do you know what? I've had these since 2015.
And do you know what as well? I've had them in my house for 6 months.
I know. I left them there. Why? I don't understand when they got left, but I was looking for them the other day. Anyway, so these are just a pair of they're not like trail running ones.
And these aren't boots, even though we're talking about boots.
No, these are like I put like the fast springy lace on.
Yeah.
But these are I think they're North Face Hedgehog lights.
Yeah.
The reason why I wear these is they're super comfortable.
Yeah.
You can do a bit of trekking in them. There's some tread mark. These are pretty worn down. They were a lot more than that when I bought them.
Well, Vibram really good, aren't they?
Yeah. So these, any like forest and paths and stuff like that I'm doing, I can wear these. I'll be honest with you, 9 times out of 10 though, I just bring them in my bag as some casual footwear to wear.
Okay.
So if it's not Crocs, it's these pretty much,
And they're perfect. I mean, obviously we're talking about boots, trail shoes. You've got different levels of boots depending if you're doing any kind of the mountaineering stuff. We know a lot of EverTrekkers are taking on Mera Peak, Island Peak, maybe Aconcagua, a different ball game.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about during the day, wearing them, you can also wear them sort of around camp, maybe on Killy.
No, yeah, that's exactly.
Around the villages in Nepal. It always definitely is suitable for that anyway.
Yeah.
But you do get people that just prefer those type of things. Bit more stable on their feet.
Well, I've seen people trekking in way worse than this.
Yeah.
This is like a lower end one, but you can get like quite expensive Salomons.
Okay.
Quite expensive. There's another set of Scarpa. Do some really good approach shoes.
Really good ones.
So these types of things can be like they're
Merrell.
quite wide ranging. Yeah, Merrell. You can get like runner.
Merrell's on now.
You can run in certain ones that are more geared towards running, like the Hoka Oneones. Then you get ones that are more geared towards climbing, which is probably the Scarpas that are a lot stiffer.
Yeah.
This just sits in the
Las
middle.
Sportivas.
Las Sportivas again. They cross the range between climbing and running. These North Face ones, they're pretty much just like a trekking trainer, basically.
Yeah.
If you want something on your feet that's not, it kind of sits firmly in the middle. It's really good. Also, it is mega waterproof. This one isn't because it's got holes in it. But
and it's been in my house for 6 months.
And it's been in your house for 6 months. Yeah. I might,
on the shoe store.
I might take these. Do
you want them back?
I might take them back.
Because they've just been like gathering dust. Really.
Yeah, no, yeah. I have no idea why I left them there. However, so yeah, these are really good. A lot of people, they do choose to trek in those. My official advice is that there's no reason why you shouldn't be trekking in boots if you haven't got some sort of issue.
Well, I suppose whilst we're talking about that, then the reasons why, we kind of talked about it a little bit around rolling ankles, and I think when you're on a multi-day trip, you can get away with it sometimes on a day trek, right? But especially here in the UK, but on a multi-day trek, the last thing you want to do is have any ankle issues.
Yeah.
So our opinion really is, if you're on a trip with us, definitely get in with the boots.
Yeah.
Trekking boots, just so you have that ankle protection, because otherwise it's just one of those things that can go wrong. And if you can do something about it by just a certain pair of boots, then you've taken that risk almost 90% of the way. Obviously, people can roll an ankle with boots, but it's very minimal because of the ankle support they're on there.
Yeah.
So, one thing we always try and we aim to put in all of our equipment lists are, bring trekking boots.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to get people like, no, I just fancy one. Hey, you're all adults, you can make your own decisions, but this is just our professional advice when it comes to going on a high altitude trek.
So I think if we're moving up the slide in scale,
I'll
start here with a lighter boot.
Another Maindel.
But
a lighter Maindel.
Yeah,
this is Jen's.
This is Jen's hiking boot that she just used on
Toupcal.
I've got a similar version to this, but I didn't bring it in because obviously I'm not.
I can smell tagines on there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But these are sort of, so these are a lightweight trekking boot. As you can see,
Yeah.
They are still quite flexible.
Nice.
You've got quite a big bend there. They would, but you could get away with a sort of like B1 crampon on these.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't want to go any flexier than this boot, but this is a really good one if you're doing something like, say, EDC, something like that. Tupcal. It's pretty good. It's pretty waterproof, pretty lightweight. It's not heavy on the foot. Jen tells me that they were comfortable right out the box as well.
Okay.
This is actually as well for Maindel's comfort range.
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily like a wide fit, although they do fit slightly wider than a normal foot.
Yeah.
A normal boot. I've actually bought a set of the wide fit men's ones, but they're like space boots.
Are these the ones that they got the blue coming down?
Yeah,
I think I've got those in the other room over there. But yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. They're a little bit too much space.
Yeah,
for me.
only I like to have. I don't mind the space so much, but
Yeah.
I like the dexterity to be able to place my feet where I want. And when I feel like I've got moon boots, it's a little bit like kabunk, kabunk, kabunk. Yeah, but these are really good. Just a bit of mud on the desk.
Bit of Moroccan mud.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Actually, this is probably Kafili mud from walking the dog this morning.
I was gonna say she did. She was out there.
Yeah, but these are a really good boot. I'm gonna try and find the name of them, but I've forgotten what they are. Take a screenshot of that.
Is that give it a Google
search?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll find out which ones they are, because they are come highly recommended. Jim Blues, 17 days till Tupcal, mate. Not long at all. Good luck. I know you enjoy it. Tupcal is a great trip. It's one of my favorites, actually. It's certainly physically one of the hardest.
Yeah.
But absolutely brilliant. Georgie's back. How you doing, Georgie? Hope all is well. Life is treating you well, mate. Stuart's mentioned swear by the Ultra Lone Peak weatherproof. Did Glencoe challenge with no problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, Stuart. Because there's quite a lot of sections there that are quite boggy.
Yeah.
And that can definitely need a good boot. Otherwise you'll lose it, especially in those bogs.
100%.
In Glencoe. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so level up from there. I think we're moving on to the famous boots.
Yeah, so the leveling up from there, Maindel Bhutan.
Yeah.
This is one of my all-time favorite boots. It's a bit, as you can see, like I'm trying to bend it in the same degree.
Yeah.
It's a lot stiffer than the other lightweight one. So this is really, I think of it as like a dual boot. What do they call a quiver killer? So if you want
quiver killer,
yeah.
Never heard that, Dave.
Yeah, so if you have one boot,
interesting.
if you only need one, this is the boot that I'll take, because it'll fit a B1 crampon really well.
Okay.
It's really what that's designed for. It's quite stiff, but yeah, I did see an interesting comment there about boots someone that wore on Killington said the top of the boot still doesn't bend.
Yeah.
Well, this is brilliant.
Layla, wasn't it?
Layla, that's it. Yeah. So these have actually got a memory foam upper, so they're really quite comfortable.
Yeah.
And they remain flexible where they need to be, but stiff where they need to be. This is a fantastic boot. I mean, I think me and you've been wearing this for years, and I know I've done EBC, Kilimanjaro, Tupcal, Glencoe Challenge.
They're an all-rounder, definitely. I mean, and Laura makes a good point, and something important to factor in is that, everyone's feet are different when it comes to boots, and you want to make sure that you try, you get to try these boots on. I've got away with it a few times. I think over the years I've kind of got to a stage where I know my size, so I can order them online. I know then that I can change the fit depending on the put like an insole in, because then that kind of tighten things up.
Yeah.
Generally, I can order online, but I'd say most people, need to get to a store, try them on for a little bit. If they're right for you, obviously you're not going to really know until you do a longer trip, because I've had I remember, I think it was Scarpa Chamois, I think they're called. And I wore them twice on 2 big mountain days. And an hour in, I had a blister.
Yeah.
Clearly weren't the right boots for me. I think I gave them to one of the guides, actually, in Tupcal in Morocco last year. And then moved on to the boot that you've got there.
Yeah.
Which is actually one of my favorite boots at the moment.
Yeah. I really like
Sportivas.
it. Yeah, this is one. So.
And it looks cool, too.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. So this is the La Sportiva Equilibrium.
Yeah.
I found this boot at exactly the right time, really, when it was released. I was looking for a new B2 boot.
Wow, Dave.
What's that? Is that a bit close?
That's fumigation my way.
Hey. I wasn't the last person to wear them.
Oh, right.
That was Zach.
So there's multi
Exactly,
owners in there.
So Zach actually borrowed these from me to do the trip that you were on, the Winter Skills.
Yeah, great.
So this is a B2.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's got a nice bit of ankle protection there. That's quite solid. It's really kind of stiff at the bottom. As you can see, the B2, it's got the platform, the welt at the back for the crampon to actually flip onto. It's a really good boot. This
boot, Jesse.
Yeah, more than I think more and more with boots. So you're getting sort of the lines used to be quite clear. That was a B1. This is a B2. That's a B3.
Yeah. This
is actually more of a hybrid, really, between a proper B2 boot, but it's light and flexible enough to be able to use. You know, as a you can hike in on this, put some crampons on, climb up. Yeah,
I was very surprised how comfy they were in hard ground.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I found them a little bit tight, but then I've got quite wide feet.
Yeah.
You know, but not so tight that once I've got them on and I've been walking, you know, I don't rub, I don't get blisters. It's just an observation that if they were like a millimeter wider, they'd probably be perfect. But they're really good. They've got the hard toe, you know, for protection. You can kick steps into the snow. This material here is actually quite it's quite tough and abrasive. So yeah, this is a really, really good boot.
Yeah, they've done well there, La Sportiva, haven't they? I mean, to be honest, La Sportiva, they've always been, historically, they've always been kind of a higher end in terms of price. Also, as well, they've always been towards more the mountaineering boots, but they've stepped into the kind of, you talk about the quiver killer. That's actually a good trekking boot.
Yeah, I would say
as a good mountaineering
boot. This could also be a proper quiver killer.
Definitely the heavier side.
Although some other B2s are even
heavier. They are.
You know, like I had a pair of Scarpa Manta Pros. Remember those?
Oh, GTX.
Yeah, they were brilliant. They were brilliant, but they were a lot heavier than these. They were a bit of a chunky tool. Where this one, like first time I did Toupcal, this is the only boot I brought. I wore it up to Toupcal. I wore it a third of the way up the mountain, and then I wore it all the way back. I didn't go any higher than a third of the way up, so that's why I didn't swap it or anything. Really good. I think more importantly as well, I was just thinking about Layla's point there. Maybe we can find the lacing video. So if your boot is sort of very inflexible right at the top around the ankle, that could be a lacing issue as well. So if you're tying it,
why do we need to find a video? You can just do it now.
Yeah.
Are you mentally prepared?
I think so.
Jen's been teaching me because clearly you've taught other people well.
So to show you how I lace.
Do you want me to? Do you want to come up or do you want to bring this down?
Yeah, bring that down. So it'll sit. Otherwise, I'll get the mud everywhere. It's okay if the mud's on me. So generally, the boot's on my foot.
Yeah.
So as you can see, you've got like the 3 eyelets going up this one.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, these laces are really good as well. I quite like the fact that one's black, one's yellow as well. Kind of like just looks like one yellow one going up. So generally speaking, how I'll tie my laces to avoid getting that sort of tight knot by here. So I'll go under. Maybe I'll go under 3 times or twice, so that sits locked by there.
Yeah.
Then I'll go around the bottom ones.
Okay.
That's fine.
Nice.
It's really difficult to do when it's not on your foot. Then
I'll take a photo of you during the live under pressure.
Yeah. Then I'll cross over again, and then I'll cross over another time.
Because that locks it in, doesn't it?
That locks it in, and it just gives it a little bit more friction, so I can let go, and it doesn't kind of go anywhere.
Nice.
Then instead of going to the next one up, I'll go to the top one.
Okay. Wow.
Bring it across. This time I'll only go over once because I don't really want it too tight by there. Then I'll go down the middle one.
Nice, Dave. Nice.
And then here is where I'll put my knot.
So and why do you do that then? Is
so the reason why I do my knot that way is because the knot now is here. That's where it's applying its most pressure, not right at the top around the ankle, although it is still tight with the lace around the ankle, but the knot is there.
Nice.
So what that means is you don't have that really tight feeling around the top of the ankle. And what you don't want is a boot that's really tight at the ankle, but then kind of like kind of loose by here.
Yeah, it can move a bit then, cause blister issues, right?
You want to get that locked in feeling, which you get from going around that bottom of the boot. There.
Okay.
That's where you get the locked in.
Yeah.
Here, you want support, but enough flexibility. So if you do roll an ankle, it's going to support you, but still allow enough movement that you don't pull a muscle. Anyway.
Nice, Dave.
That's how I do.
Well done, mate. See, I know you got it. See, that's why anytime. It's like there's no pressure.
No, none whatsoever. No, like the thing is, I don't like doing it on video because I'm like, if I make a mistake, there it is for the rest of time.
No, but that honestly, they're really good. I like it as well because I don't use that. I kind of do it kind of the other way.
Yeah.
But that way is the best, I think. I've seen so many people use it. I'll probably switch to that, to be honest.
Yeah, I honestly,
give it a go.
I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it purely because, in my mind, it's just as tight and just as supportive as the other way.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like, but you're getting more. It's not less than the other way. Having the tight around the ankle, but still laced up to the top means you've got that support, but you've also got that freedom of movement. Nice. So it's not feeling like you've got, something like high up your leg way too tight.
Some good questions coming in as well, and also I think one of the Yetis is it Vicky on the live? I'm just seeing, is it Vicky or is it Jody? Anyway, whichever Yeti is on, let's put the link to the ladies Maindle boot that Dave showed earlier.
Oh yeah,
nice. So it's called the Antello Lady GTX.
You have to go Antello.
I see AO and I'm like, where is it? I know. I'm just gonna call it the Antello. There we are.
Antello.
Yeah. It's Vicky, of course it is. Nice one, Vic. Thanks for posting that, mate. I think there's a couple of questions as well around. Was it Pratesh was asking? Would I need crampons for EBC in October? No. So with EBC, you don't need. It's not like on one of our technical trips, and you wouldn't need any crampons, even though Everest Base Camp is on a glacier. The actual area is pretty safe to walk on without crampons, and the entire route up to that is on paths or ground, so you won't be walking on any ice.
Yeah.
For that, so yeah, no crampons needed, just the old school boots.
Yeah.
And all the boots that we talked about today, even the trail shoes could get away on Everest Base Camp. For us, as we mentioned earlier, just to reiterate, definitely on the we always kind of err on the side of caution. And with regards to boots, using them over trail shoes, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. So I've got a good answer for Jerome as well for his question, but I need the
Crocs are no. Well,
I need the
Dave. You're a Crocs man.
Actually, funny enough, we had someone fairly recently wanting to know if they could wear Crocs to EBC. They were going to do it to go for like the charity. What I'm wondering is if Vicky can hear me. Vic, would you be so kind as to grab me the pair of boots from the mess tent and just throw them through the door at me? That would be very helpful because I need to use them as a demonstration.
Oh, Jody is on it.
Yeah.
On it. The mess tent, mate. It's great. And just to clarify, we haven't got a tent in the office. That's just what we call where we have lunch, right?
Yeah.
It's coming, Dave. I can hear
That's
the shoes.
The ones.
Oh, they're nice. They're nice.
Thank you very much, sir. Joe, do you want to come on?
He's trying.
So, brilliant. Jerome was asked, are there any boots with buckles?
Yeah.
Because laces are a real issue for people with arthritis.
Boa, isn't it? Brilliant.
Well, this is a boot I bought. Actually bought for you.
I know.
When I saw it as a gift.
Yeah, lovely.
It's a really good winter boot. It's like quite heavy duty. It does have a buckle, although I'll be honest with you, buckles are not great. He goes, it doesn't, they come loose and it's not like a skiing buckle. More importantly, what I'm here to show you is the BOA system.
Yeah.
So this is really good. So in order to do this up,
great patent that is.
So you just push that in and you can see it.
Fantastic, isn't it?
And then
I love the
tight,
BOA system.
and then to take it off again, you just push it.
Yeah.
So you just pull it.
Loosens it right up.
And that'll loosen it right off again.
Yeah.
And then
great
push
innovation,
it in, and then just twist it, and it'll go tight again. This is brilliant. Really love the BOA.
Yeah.
And in fact, if I see a pair of boots, one with laces, one with a BOA, I'll probably go for the BOA.
I was researching.
Or BOA. I'm not sure whether
3
BOA
days
or
ago.
BOA.
We call it BOA. It's easier, right?
Yeah.
I was researching some ski boots because I know we got some skiing coming up, and some of them now have got the BOA kind of option on there. Pricey, but very
Scarpa
useful.
do a lot of it.
Oh, really?
They do ski boots with. Do you know what I've heard though? No, I'm going to go into ski boot territory. It's not necessary. I've been doing so much research on them, but
nice.
Yeah.
I'll move this over a bit.
So Jerome, check out boots with the BOA.
Yeah, they're very good. There we go, Jerome. All you, mate. All you. Alison, do you cross over the glacier to EBC coming next year in October? So yeah, when you go into EBC, so you'll reach a little settlement called Gorakshep, which is kind of the last settlement before Everest. And Gorakshep it wasn't a village before. It's only been there really since trekkers and climbers started to go to Everest, and more so the trekkers really because of the amount of people going through. And so it's not natural to be there. Anyway, you've got about 2.5 to 3 hours to walk to the kind of location of where Everest Base Camp is. Although during the spring, Everest Base Camp is so big because you've got all the climbers there. It's probably a 1.5 miles long, village, if you like, on the glacier. So there's lots of different camps set up for different summit teams. NIMS usually takes up half of it. It's got, quite a lot of space there. And essentially, yeah, when you walk into base camp, you've got kind of usually a marker at the moment, and it's changed over the years. At the moment, you might have seen some pictures where Everest Base Camp is written on a rock. Unfortunately, a couple of other people have spray painted on the rock, which isn't good.
Actually, we spoke to one of our team over there. They're thinking of going and removing that.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. So you do get some. That's one thing actually important to touch on. Like sometimes people like say things about like writing on the rock and stuff like that. I don't like graffiti, but putting a marker on a rock for base camp is absolutely fine in my opinion.
They've done it for years. It's just been smaller.
Exactly. And ultimately, the way I look at it is that any person that has been to base camp or wants to go to base camp is a human being wanting to go to an area.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult then to criticize when you see the presence of other humans there. We're all technically part of the problem. The best thing we can do is also be part of like the solution as well. So one thing that we do when we're out there is, we don't take any like single-use plastics there and stuff like that. If you do have to buy bottled
filters,
exactly. If you do have to buy bottled water, we say take the bottle back with you. So at least that way you're kind of removing some plastic off the mountain.
Nice.
But yeah, those names, it is annoying then because someone's put their name on it.
It is frustrating, isn't it? But the one thing, like the first time I went there was none of that. It was just a tiny rock that had EBC written on it and the year, and then every year, then when base camp kind of gets moved or set up, a new rock gets placed there, and then it just happened that this big rock was kind of a good location for it, so they wrote on there. But yeah, sorry, just to Alison, sorry to go on. Taking the longest amount of time ever to answer your question. So in terms of crossing over the glacier, you can walk pretty much, especially if you're going in October, so there won't be any camps there. Very rare that there'll be camps there. Sometimes there is. In 2018, there was North Face there. There was Hilary Nelson was climbing Lhotse and then skiing down the Lhotse couloir. Sadly passed away last year. On Manaslu. But yeah, sorry, I digress. With regards to crossing over, you can walk as far as you go up until the icefall, but other than that, you're not allowed any further. So you get really close to the action.
Yeah.
But one thing we always say as well is when you get to base camp, because it's kind of one of the highest points, not the highest if you're doing Kalapatar the morning after, is that the guide kind of generally makes up and decides how long you're going to spend there, because it depends on the weather. If it's really bad weather coming in, what time you get there, because especially if you want to limit the time, you don't want to be hiking back in the dark. Also how the group are feeling. If some of the group are not well, or are suffering, obviously it's great that we won't spend a long time there. But if everything's going well, the weather's good, you're there early, probably got over an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours people spend there. So it's time to walk around, and it's just an amazing place. Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it. And next year in October, that'll fly by. You'll be in no time at all.
Yeah. Awesome. Got a question from Nick Schaefer that said, always been interested in trekking to EBC. I feel that it would be a bit of a cattle market with thousands of people going there every year, and that would spoil the experience.
Yeah.
Should you choose a different trek, for example, Annapurna, or the same apply? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, good question.
I think, honestly, Nick, wherever you want to go, like, if there are people that, if it's a trekking destination, you're always going to come into contact with other groups and things like that. It's unavoidable. In my opinion, it doesn't ruin it. It's part of the experience is meeting other people, and you meet some great people, and every day you're kind of having a good experience on how did you get on yesterday? Oh, what was your favorite bit? And like you get to know people. Certainly it is busy. Honestly, Annapurna is going the same way. It's probably less people going there, but it's still a popular trekking destination. really, I think if you want to go on a kind of a really remote one, there are some of the things that we do that you can do, but they're not going to be on those mega popular ones. For instance, you could do Machu Picchu via the Tomakea.
Very remote. We didn't see anyone.
Yeah.
The only group on that trip, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and trying to think of any others that we do.
You got Patagonia ice fields.
Patagonia
very
ice
remote.
fields, yeah, very remote.
K2 base camps, very remote. But I think Dave's made a good point there. Wherever you go, there will be people. But I think the misconception with Everest Base Camp is that it is, it's, if you've seen the pictures at say Snowdon, the queues and things, it's not like that. It's not the M25. Let's put it that way. It's not. There are people there, but it's, for what it is, it's not like that. I've never experienced it. I've been to Everest Base Camp 5 times, and it's never been that busy. The good thing is the first couple of days, because you're going through villages, Sherpa villages up to Namche, and then once you get past, I would say, Tengboche, so out of the forest into the glacial valleys, you get your own space. So you're not really amongst other people, and then what that does is then you get a bit of a bottleneck as you come towards Everest Base Camp, because there's one route to Everest Base Camp, and it does become more people, but not lots and lots of people. Just mainly on the first couple of days when you're going through Yak Pass, because they're only small. They're quite small areas. But whatever happens there, you can have an awesome time. It really is. What was it? It was Nick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is one of the best treks in the world that you can do.
I think so. Yeah. It's my absolute favorite, and I've never thought that the presence of other people sort of ruined it.
No, exactly.
Because
never did. Yeah.
There's plenty of time, to spend time on your own and have an experience. And in my opinion, you can have the best of both worlds. I mean, I would just go there with an open mind. Don't go there with any sort of. Don't go there waiting to be annoyed by people. I'm not saying you are, but some people are like, as soon as they see 5 other people on the trail, it's like, oh God. And then if there's a little bit of a queue to take a picture, it's like, oh God. But actually, just go there with an open mind, enjoy it, be there for the experience, the mountains, and you will have an amazing time. That's guaranteed.
Exactly. Lindsay asked, I'm really looking at doing EBC and Island Peak with you guys. He's done Kilimanjaro, a lot of mountains in the UK, also an ultra challenger, so I'm pretty fit. What other training advice you'll be able to give me? Well, Lindsay, to be honest, you're 90% of the way there. I'd say, if you can do all that, if you climb Kili, obviously you are going higher on Island Peak, over 6,100 meters, so altitude. But if you've been to almost 6,000 meters on Kili, 5,895 meters, you'll know yourself how you dealt with that. You're only going a few hundred meters higher. It is slightly different. It's not, there is like 110 meters of fixed rope climbing that you'll be doing, which, obviously is different to Kili, because Kili's all trekking. But EBC, that'll be lower than Kili. I think in terms of fitness and in terms of advice and training, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you do ultra challenges, with regards to this, the only training I'd suggest or experience is maybe getting some time on the snow, on the ice. So, if you've done any winter training, that would be highly helpful to you, because any time on ice and snow and crampons is helpful. Yeah. Because as you get higher on Island Peak, you'll be on fixed rope, and you'll also be having, I don't know if you use like a Juma, so it goes up and down the rope, so you've got some traction to pull yourself up. You'd be wearing crampons because you'd be on snow and ice, quite slippery ground, and also at times then you'd be having your ice axe. So there's definitely, if you've got experience doing that, great. If you haven't, do some winter training. That being said, we've had people who've gone on Island Peak and not had any of that training and summited. Yeah. It's, you can learn on the job, as you say. You can learn on the trip. But any time spent in anything just means you're more comfortable. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
But regarding fitness, mate, you're already pretty much there. Do what you're doing. Maybe do some more technical stuff. Definitely. Good question, though.
Alison Morgan, do you wear different boots for going to EBC in April or October? Just wondering if it's significantly different conditions. To be honest, no, you can get away with the same pair of boots for both times. So March, April, May, September, October, November. The trekking conditions are relatively the same. That's to say, in the Himalaya, it can also be unpredictable. Yeah. But you don't need any heavier, wintry type of boots. Personally, I think the Maindel Bhutan is like perfect.
Yeah.
For both, like you can. This is the type of boot that I've worn in hot conditions, cold conditions.
Yeah.
And it's been absolutely perfect. So something like this. However, I have also trekked to EBC in April and October in a boot similar to this one. You know, a lighter non-leather one as well.
Nice.
And I've had no problems. Because you're not going to be doing anything technical.
Yeah.
Really, it's just about insulation and stuff like that. So if you do buy a pair of boots that you can fit a big thick pair of socks in, or like maybe 2 pairs of socks if it gets really cold,
yeah,
then you've kind of got yourself covered. So no, you only need 1 pair of boots.
Yeah. Stuart's asked a good question as well. Looking at the Hanwag Ferrara 2, believe there are B2 views on for using it on Killy in August. To be fair, my first look, because I hadn't seen those before, so I give them a little bit of a Google then, Stu. They might be a bit overkill. I've not experienced them. I mean, if they are like these B2s, the Equilibrium, they're called the Hanwag Ferrara 2, because you don't really need to put any crampons on. You know, I'd say any more of a trekking boot would be preferable. But that being said, mate, if those are comfortable for you, just go in with a mindset, okay, it's going to be harder on my feet because a lot of hard ground on Killy. On the descent, you do go down some kind of, it's like volcanic ash that's been there. It's like sand, essentially. That will be soft. Other than that, it's going to be hard on your feet. So, yeah, in professional opinion, Stu, I'd probably go for something that's a bit more lighter than that.
Yeah.
If I was looking at them. They look great, though, for like something like Island Peak. You know, maybe if it's really winter conditions on Tube Cal, or they can get away with a lighter boot on there as well. I'd say they're probably a bit overkill. Do you agree?
Yeah, for Killy, definitely. I think anytime you get a B2 boot, it's going to be stiff enough to accommodate a C2 crampon, which means that it's going to be pretty inflexible. It's going to be quite hard under your foot, and really that's designed to be used with a crampon in winter conditions. With Kilimanjaro, that's not really the experience, so I would say the boot doesn't quite match the trip. Something like the Maindel Bhutan would be perfect for Killy. You know, it's a little bit more flexible, it's a little bit more forgiving, because it's designed for what you're going to be doing 100% of the time, which is just walking. So yeah, that's what I would do. Great
stuff. Some great questions coming in as well. Thanks for posting all the questions, everyone. Especially Tina. Tina, great to see you on as well. Asking about waterproof boots needed for ABC, Annapurna Base Camp, right? To be honest, any of the boots that you do have, if they're waterproof already, highly recommend it. Remind me, Tina, what time of year are you going? Obviously, with regards to monsoon, any boot you're going to wear, just because of the if it's monsoon, you're going to get wet. It's definitely you know, if you have a kind of downpour, for extended amount of time, over an hour, you're going to get wet. Just put them next to the big iron stove in the middle of the room just to dry them. Not too close, don't want them to melt. Seen that happen before.
Yeah, I did that.
Didn't want to say names, Dave.
Yeah, no, I melted the lace.
I've seen someone actually go on ski boots, put the ski boots next to a fire, melted half their ski boot.
Really?
Bad times.
That's not going to be molded anymore.
That's not going to be molded. Good question though. So yeah, Tino, I suppose the point I was trying to get across is whatever boots you're going to get, if it's monsoon, you're going to get wet. Unfortunately, I remember having like really good waterproof boots. I think they were Mammut Trovat Mountain Guide. Literally what I would say as bomb-proof boots. They got wet. In the UK, in a bog, in the rain, dry, for some reason, monsoon, got wet. There's me. I spent so much time, and she was joking. Cheers, Tina. Anyway, I hope that was useful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pritesh has asked, would I need crampons to EBC for October? No, you'd be fine. Again, EBC, nothing technical. No, like, you know, you are a little bit on ice and rock when you're on the glacier, but it's flat terrain, so you won't need crampons or anything like that. All good to go.
Nice. Jerome, just looking. I think actually you might have already. Serious question: are there any hiking boots out there that have buckles instead of laces? I know you went onto the BOA ones there. Much like ski boots, laces are a real problem if you have arthritic hips. Jerome, same. I think there are certain boots out there I've not used too many. The one that Dave said there is is one that does have it. Merrill, Scarpa, and La Sportiva tend to be the ones that
Merrill, Scarpa, La Sportiva.
Yeah.
They tend to have the other thing you can do.
Yeah.
Is
you are right.
Is like this speed lacing thing.
Yeah.
I will be honest, these are very like stretchy. So, but you can sort of like get them like that, so you can see you just like pull that tight onto the boot.
Yeah.
In my opinion, not as good as an actual lace because they are stretchy, so there is some give in them.
Yeah.
But there are other methods you can use like that. That if it really is a kind of a deal breaker, you can get around it.
Sebi, how you doing, Sebi? Is leather an issue? No, not at all. No, we get a lot of trekkers that bring the old school boots. Yeah.
Always wear my leather trousers when I go hiking.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's got to be done, mate.
Wouldn't surprise me. I want to see that now.
Yeah.
No, but leather boots are fine. You'll find that obviously they take a little bit more looking after, a little bit more waxing, but yeah, you'd be great. Best boots for the EverTrek from Stephen Badger. There's so many boots out there. I mean, we're always going to talk about the Maindels because we've used them personally, but generally most boots. So you've got ones like the North Face Hedgehog GTX. You've got the Salomon. What's the Salomons are really good. They're obviously GTX.
I think they're GTX 4 or something like that.
GTX 4. Yeah. And obviously the Maindel Bhutan. You've also got, though, my uncle actually just before we went to base camp. What was it? Yeah, literally, he clearly got the email today. And my uncle Stu went to base camp in November. Great guy, ex-military, so he basically knows his stuff when it comes to certain outdoor gear. But yeah, he liked and he wore the Maindel Men's Marin GTX.
Yeah.
He wanted us to talk about that and just mention it because it worked for him. And he suffers with plantar fasciitis, so he said they were really good for that.
Yeah.
If anyone has similar foot problems.
Awesome.
So thanks, Uncle Stu.
Vicky Way, what sort of sleeping bag would you advise to bring in April for the EBC trek? So the bag that I use when I go to EBC is the Rab Ascent 700. It's sort of a 3 to 4 season bag. That's what I would be looking to do for EBC, 3 to 4 season, because you are in tea houses, you're not outside, you're not exposed. So, but it still can get cold in those rooms. 3 to 4 season sleeping bag is really good.
Yeah.
I think you can get really good 3 to 4 season sleeping bags from like Rab Mountain Equipment.
Yeah.
They're really good. To be honest, I would go for a 4 season one because really your sleeping bag can't be too warm because you can always just undo it and open it up if you get a bit warm. But yeah, the Rab Ascent 700 I found is absolutely just right in the sweet spot for EBC. It's
a bit of an all-rounder as well. You go back. Honestly, I'm going to use that what you said earlier, quiver killer.
Quiver killer, yeah.
I like that. That's a good word. Good turn of phrase, Eddie.
Yeah.
There are a few boots and a few different we're talking sleeping bags here, but sleeping bags that cover a lot of different types of trekking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes if you're climbing a high altitude peak, it'll be a mummy sleeping bag, and I mean literally like a mummy. It's like it's designed to fit really close to your body. It's a big film, -40.
Yeah.
I think the Rab Ascent 700 is like -15,
comfort,
something like that. So yeah, absolute hits a nail on the head. So I would, if I was going to do it, I would start with the Rab Ascent 700. And then just look around for bags that are equivalent to that one, and you'll be in the right way.
Dave Rimington got some nice Scarpa Marmalade boots. Happy birthday, Dave. Hope you're all well. We're quite tight, so I had to return them. Marmalade, mate. Never mind. Should have got jam instead. Would have been definitely better.
Scarpa Marmalade.
I just went for the whatever you put on your toast joke.
Yeah.
Didn't quite go down that well.
Is there a brand? Is there a boot called the Marmalade?
It wouldn't surprise me if Dave was joking there.
Yeah.
Dave does like a good joke. He's honestly respect the humor, mate. I like it. I've seen Puffer like 10 slippers suggested for the evenings in the tea houses. From Alison Morgan. What do you think?
Like the down slippers.
Yeah, I've seen loads of them. I've never used them personally, but definitely if you're sensitive feet and they do get cold and you can squeeze them in, highly recommend them. I know that lots of EverTrekkers who've taken them and in the tea houses, and I've always been a bit of old school, just wearing normal trekking shoes, but yeah, if you want to wear them, go for it. That's how you get them.
Yeah, it depends, I suppose, if you suffer from cold feet or not. Really, that's the answer. I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't, so I don't wear them.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate having my feet too hot.
Yeah.
So I would avoid them like the plague. But I know loads of people that just like their feet and hands get really cold.
Yeah.
So in that situation, why not?
Yeah, and Stefan makes a good point as well. Stefan Halls, you appreciate having a 4-season sleeping bag when you get to Gorak Shep. Never been so cold. Thermals and a quilt was still cold. Yeah, I think when you go into Everest Base Camp, I think you've got to, and this is to anyone that hasn't been, I know Stefan was with us last year, is that, yeah, you've just got to accept you're going to be cold in Gorak Shep, whatever time of year you're going to get there.
Yeah.
It's that high, it's windy. Honestly, the times I've been there, I went in winter the first time, which was in January 2016, and it was about -25 without the wind, and literally woke up with the duvet was frozen. And I know every time EverTrek has come back, and whenever someone mentions Gorak Shep, you can see the pain in the face and go, "Oh, Gorak Shep, oh my God, not great tour. It's cold." But this is adventure travel, right?
October 2019, and never forget it.
Really?
It was cold all the way up. I remember telling you I was really cold in Facting, and I remember thinking then, man, Gorak Shep's going to be grim. And when we got there, I don't think it was quite -25, but it was definitely high, like low teens. And I remember waking up in the morning, and you got those like crystals all over your bag and stuff like that.
Yeah,
honestly, cool. It's like, and also I remember like my nose must have been running because my mustache was frozen solid, and I'd had better night's sleep.
I know,
but what are you gonna do?
I never sleep well in Gorak Shep.
What are you gonna do?
Well, there we are.
EBC wouldn't be as fun if it was at sea level, would it? So
exactly. Sebi, off the beaten track, but you think my good lady and I can have an awesome honeymoon? Absolutely, yeah. No worries about the email, Sebi. Let's get that sorted for you. I'd love to. We've had a few EverTrekkers actually who've gone on there for a honeymoon. We've actually, I remember, Mark and Haley, EverTrekkers who met on a training weekend and then went on the trek together, and then got married. They met on. We
had a wedding.
We had a wedding
in
at 2018.
Yeah,
that was brilliant, wasn't it? That was. Oh no,
I forget their name now.
Emily. Oh my God, I should know.
But they actually
had a great wedding.
They got dressed in their wedding outfits on Kalapatan.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Stuart Haddon. Stuart, how you doing? Great to see you. Virtually.
Yeah.
I used Solomon Quest 4D GTX on Kili and on both trips to Ecuador. Yeah. So Stuart was actually one of our first ever customer on the Summit Sapphire trip. Unfortunately, I know there was some bad weather, wasn't it, Stuart? I know we talked about when you were on our podcast episode, but and it was a bit nuts when you went back there with the protests. So it was a bit mad out there. But yeah, definitely the Solomon Quest 4D GTX are really good boots.
Yeah,
because I think someone did ask about Summits. Apologies if it was your question. I'm just going to go through the questions and see.
Andrew Scott said, "Lads, are your faces blurred or is it just me? I think that's just tiredness." That's tiredness.
Is that tiredness syndrome?
Yeah, that's fatigue. That's what happens when you just give everything for the Tuesday. But no, yeah, Stu as well, and Stu will be aware, as I'm sure the rest of you do, that Cotopaxi's a little bit grumpy at the moment. So I doubt anyone will be climbing Cotopaxi now for a year or two at least. Last time it went off, I think it was about 2 years where it was unclimbable.
Yeah.
So Stuart was probably one of the last few that kind of managed to climb on Cotopaxi before it decided to have a break.
Yeah, I think it was Carl actually, wasn't it? Just joined. Sorry if I asked. What is the best boots for Summit Sapphire? And just I suppose it links well actually from what Stuart was saying there. He's used those boots. Also used Mainville Boutans. In fairness, there is some trekking and there's some climbing. So yeah, I know you said you'd rather not take 2 pairs of boots. I think if you've got, as Dave said, the Quiver Killer, something that's an all-rounder, something like the
it's coming back
Equilibrium, mate. It's a great boot.
Yeah, that would be good for both.
It would be good for both.
It's very similar to the Shamo that you had and that Stuart used, but the only difference is that this one is kind of a really good tracker as well. Yeah. So yeah, you could use this.
And that's crampon compatible.
And that's crampon compatible, which you 100% need.
Using it on some steep ground in Scotland in some dodgy conditions. Manage really well.
I double boot. I do though.
Do you?
I bring.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah,
I bring double boot.
I got to be honest. If I can squeeze it in, I will wear just to get over the weight. I'll wear those on the plane, even though it's crazy because they look huge, and take my lighter ones in the duffel. Yeah,
so I tend to do. So like, I do like to wear both because it is nicer trekking in a proper pair of trekking boots. That's the thing. Like, there is sometimes this tendency to look at the more expensive, more sort of high-tech boots and think they're the best. They're the best for what they've been designed to do, which isn't necessarily trekking. So I like to have the best possible boots for trekking, and then I'll swap them over and use the best possible ones for me for climbing.
Nice.
So I am a swap-arounder.
Carl was just asking, what are the name of the boots again?
Equilibrium.
La Sportiva Equilibrium.
It's an Equilibrium, but started with an A, and you'll find these, and they're really, really good. I think they're a little bit tight-fitting. I tend to have a slightly wider sort of what they call in the toe box. But I have a slightly wide foot, and they're only slightly too tight. Not so much that it would make me send them back. These are really good, and you'll see everyone wearing them at the moment. There is two types as well. So there's a lighter one and a heavier one. This isn't the lighter one.
They brought a third one out now.
Oh, they got a third one.
Yeah, it's got like an outer layer.
Oh yeah, the double boot.
Yeah, the double boot. It looks awesome.
Yeah, this is I think the perfect one for me because it's really good.
Yeah, so I hope that helps, Carl. Definitely. Alison, would you recommend merino socks? Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we talked about merino socks. Was it the week before last? And we literally talked about all about underwear.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was.
God, time's flying by, right?
It wasn't last week. It was the week before.
Week before.
Yeah.
Have a look at that one. We talked about loads of different types of socks, Alison. But yeah, merino wool socks are very good.
Yeah.
A lot of my socks are merino. A lot of underwear I actually wear is merino. Also as well, check out bamboo socks.
Yeah.
If you're looking at socks, you've got
Bridgedale.
Bridgedale. What's the other one that begins with S? Smartwool. Smartwool. Very, very good makes. Highly recommend them, definitely.
You saved me with a set of Smartwools in London one time. Remember I wore those shoes that were like giving me blisters within 10 minutes from the train to the hotel.
Was that WTM?
WTM, yeah, which we're going to do a lot of walking, and I just pair of Vans as well.
You and shoes.
So rare.
Shoes.
So rare. Well, at the moment, I'm trialing out these barefoot things.
I noticed that. Someone mentioned barefoot earlier.
I've been sort of breaking them in a little bit because I had like sore feet. And I was like,
thought you'd try that.
These apparently can strengthen your feet and make them stronger.
They can. I've heard a lot of, well, we met when we were in Keswick Mountain Festival last year. We were exhibiting. Sadly, not on this year. It's just got just a smaller running festival. Hopefully back next year, though. Really looking forward to getting back there.
Yeah.
And we met, who was it? Was it Barefoot? Not Barefoot. Who was the shoe company?
It was these.
It was Vivo Barefoot.
I bought these.
Ah, they're the ones.
These are the ones I bought.
Very interesting science.
So they're just like little dappy things, but they're like, if you look at them, like there's like nothing.
That is lightweight.
But they like, I put my foot on like a pressure pad, and it's a couple of things like they told me. One of them is like because of the old knee injury.
Yeah.
There's a lot more like there's not even weight distribution.
Okay.
Apparently these help to kind of help that.
Yeah.
I just think they're kind of light and cool, and mainly I'm not wearing them. I'm wearing them just to like strengthen the soles of my feet a little bit.
I remember since you got them, I think definitely it's still. I've still got to be persuaded when it comes to them. It's still for me if I'm doing a trek, still like my.
Oh,
protection.
I wouldn't be trekking in these.
No, we're just walking around.
I do have a pair, right, of Vivo hiking boots. I think they're called the Ranger or something.
Okay.
Might do another Dave giveaway if I can find the second boot.
I
only know where one is.
Do it.
But I wouldn't. I personally, for me, I know some people swear by it. It's like a bloody cult. The barefoot movement. I'm doing it to strengthen my feet, but I wouldn't trek in them. I want the support, and I want the comfort.
Jerome there, Keswick, I'm in. Oh mate, yeah, it's not on this year, unfortunately.
Next year.
Keswick Mountain Festival. They decided to skip a year. I think lots of outdoor festivals and things clearly struggled over the last few years. You know, that word that shall not be named. Yeah. But yeah, it's I think in terms of their recovery, they needed to miss a year, unfortunately. Yeah, we were gutted when we found out because we've done it for the last few years.
Marcus.
Yeah, sleeping mats. Hey, Marcus, good question.
Yeah, at some point, can we comment on sleeping mats? Do you need them? If so, what would you recommend? So what trip are you going on? Because it does depend. You do need them if there's going to be any camping involved. I would take one. Mine is a Thermarest. Highly recommend it because it's really light, packs down small. It's designed to sort of reflect your body's heat back up rather than lose it underneath you.
Nice.
So it is really good in colder temperatures. They are quite expensive, the Thermarest ones, but basically, if I'm doing any trek where there's going to be any camping involved, I'll bring it with me. It weighs less than a kilo. It packs down really small. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Yeah, and in fact, we when me and you did Killy, I brought it with me.
Yeah, I went. I thought I'd do the opposite and not take mine and just use the mats out there.
Yeah, but the mats are very, very similar to wood in a lot of respects. But what
They're okay. They're if you like a hard bed.
But I find I do like a hard bed. So halfway through, we swapped because you were hurting because you'd done so many days on your hip on the hard bed.
I remember.
And I wanted a bit of like just support for my bad back. So we actually found it worked if we swapped.
Whilst we're here, do we want to see how much you like hard beds compared to me?
Oh yeah, go on.
Because this was from
this was April 2019.
4 years ago almost. Excuse the interruption. I'm going to come in. We'll come back. It's literally only like 15 seconds. And I lost the toss. We
tossed a
coin for it. Good clarification. Good clarification. And had to sleep on this bed. Anyway, Here we go. Go on.
Hey guys, Dave from EverTrek here. Just want to demonstrate Andy's bed for tonight.
Lovely 5-star accommodation. Go on.
Hey guys.
Again, almost wanted to replay.
Same
so,
t-shirt.
I hope you've watched it. I hope you've watched it. But no, that's just to demonstrate that I don't mind not having. I don't mind a stiff bed. Sorry. That's getting bad now.
I'm a child, man, and you keep signing.
It's not the mouth that comes out, just the mind that goes in.
Yeah.
So hey, just to finish on that. No, but when it comes to match, if you do want a little bit more comfort, definitely take your own on. I'd say if you're going on Killy, if you're going on the Inca Trail or Tomakea with us, K2 base camp, you could argue you could bring one for Mera Peak. Definitely Aconcagua, a couple of days on Island Peak, Lobuche. The Jerome, stop it, guys. Sorry, we can't help the humor. We wouldn't let, what was it you say? Wouldn't let
professionalism get in the way of a good show.
Yeah, I like that, Dave.
I've never, I don't profess to be some, like highbrow comedian.
Brilliant. But right, going back to what we were talking about, which is boots. Now we hope, we've talked a lot about boots, a lot about different types of boots, what you need them, when you need them. Hope that's been useful today. Definitely. Any final thoughts, Steve, on the boot side of things?
Penultimate thought.
Sorry, yeah.
No, yeah. I think there's a couple of things to bear in mind. We've made quite a few recommendations here. There's no one size fits all, basically. So the most important thing with any boot is fit.
Yeah.
So when you do go to a number of different shops, try on a number of different boots.
Yeah.
If they feel right, you'll know. If you have any point where you're like, they're in the shop, you're not walking in them, so you have to be ultra critical.
Yeah.
If you feel a little bit on the toe, a little bit on the heel, after 10 miles, that's going to be murder. So make sure that they fit like a glove. They're really good for you. Make sure that they're right for what you're doing. There's no point getting a set of B2 or B3 boots if all you're going to be doing is walking.
Yeah.
And equally, if you're going to be needing crampons and you're going to be climbing on ice and rock and mixed terrain, hiking boots perhaps won't be the right thing. Yeah. You may need to bring 1 or 2 pairs. So fit and function, get those 2 things right, and then basically get the best ones you can afford.
Nice. Yeah, I hope that's been useful. We'll be back. Actually, we are not here next week, so there will be a replay because we're off on leave next week. Don't know what we're doing, Dave. Something to do with slopes.
No, I think I'm going to go and get pieced.
We got an annual skiing trip, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
But we'll be back the week after. But as always, anything you need, do reach out to us. Especially, I know a lot of people are looking to maybe jump on Everest Base Camp. Don't forget, obviously, if you've got any of the runner-up prizes, use that. It expires next Tuesday. But any questions, do reach out. And adios, as Mark says. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Cheers.
Take it easy, guys. Bye.